Coldwell phoned me up and said, I won the first bid for a European title fight. Tony Bellew against Danny McIntosh. And we just started in boxing and I thought, Tony Bellew. Was it a European title? Was it British? Okay, British title. Fucking hell, you paid a lot of money for that day.
Sorry, Lord.
Yeah. And he said to me, do you want to co-promote with me? So I thought, that'll get one over on Frank. We'll do that. And we'll sell out the Echo. And we sold about 1,000 tickets and we lost 100 grand. Dave had to pay off and I had to pay off.
Sorry.
It hurt Dave a lot more than it hurt me. And he paid every penny, just about. And then Tony was one of the first people that stood up for himself in a situation we won't go into, but to stand up for himself rather than, he'd rather not continue his career than be in a position that he was in. And we signed him, and Darren Barker fell injured off a bill, and Tony headlined against Edison Miranda at Alexander Palace. Then he boxed Roberto Bellonti, and he got probably the worst cut I've ever seen. And then he boxed Isaac Chilemba in a final eliminator, in one of the worst fights I've ever seen. And then he was supposed to become mandatory to Adonis Stevenson, and at the end of that fight we'll draw, and there was no mandatory. So we had to put the fight on again. He boxed him on the undercard of the Frock Kesler fight in a much better fight this time. He ripped it from Chilemba. We went to Canada to fight Adonis Stevenson, the guy who was like a skeleton on the scales. How he was even in a ring at 175 pounds, never know. And he got stopped that night. We went back to change room and we said, you have to move up to cruiserweight. Moved up, fought Valery Brudov, Dos Santos, and then boxed Nathan Cleverly on pay-per-view, headlined his first pay-per-view show. Again, wasn't the best fight we've ever seen. And then he went and found himself, blagged it into a Creed movie for 7 months, and then he came back in an 8-rounder in Leeds, and then he boxed what I will always remember as a defining moment in his career against Mateusz Masternak at the O2 for very, very small money on the Joshua White undercard, in a fight that could have gone either way, with Dave Coldwell telling him in the 12th round, giving him a slap and saying, you have to go and win this round, and he did. And he won the European title, and that was probably the defining moment. I promised him that if he beat Masternak, I would get him a world title fight. And for 5 months I tried and tried, and there was nothing. And I was in a Chinese one day in Salisbury-Worth, and Maurizio Suleiman phoned me and said that Gregory Ziod has retired. Would Tony like to fight for the vacant world title against his guy McCarvan? I looked him up, he was 19-0 with 18 knockouts. I phoned Tony, I said, I've got unbelievable news, I finally delivered your world title shot. I told him the name, he was like, fuck's sake, not him. He told me he wanted to do it at Goodison. We went to Goodison, they basically said no. Tony said, get another meeting, I'll come with you. We all went into the boardroom, we blagged it to do it on Bank Holiday Sunday, which appeared like the worst idea in the history of ideas. We've got about 18,000 in there, about 3 weeks' notice, on one of the greatest nights of so many people's lives in this room, when he became WPC World Champion. He went away, he boxed BJ Flores, and somehow he blagged himself into a fight with David Haye. He kicked the Toblerone at him, he jumped out of the ring, and almost then back into the ring. And he told me he wanted to fight him, and he told me he'd fight him. And somehow we found ourselves in that fight with David Haye. I didn't really think he had much of a chance, but I knew that he would make a lot of money. More money than he'd ever made in his whole career combined. He stops him in just an unbelievable night, and then the rematch was even bigger. This time he takes the lion's share and beats David Haye, and really it's all over. And probably the person that I didn't want him to fight was Oleksandr Usyk or Gassian, but he couldn't resist it. And tonight, I watched not just a great individual, but a great fighter. You know, someone that has improved so much with Dave Coldwell. And when we were talking earlier to the press about like the Nathan Cleverly fights, you've gone from being not even really even world level in that fight to being elite level. And I think we'll all agree we're very, very proud of this man and what he's achieved. And I'm so proud that the British public have got to see the real Tony Bellew. You know, not this loudmouth scouser who couldn't even hardly stand up at 175 pounds, kept telling you what he was going to do, but actually couldn't do it. To to someone that has fought everybody, that is a great man, great father, great husband, a great role model for young boxers, someone that's given everything to the sport. And tonight is closure. It's all over. You know, and he can leave having earned a huge amount of money, having won British, Commonwealth, European and World Championships and boxed in an undisputed fight. So I just want to say how proud we all are of you, mate. You deserve it.
It's just been an incredible, unbelievable ride. It's been the best 5 years of my life. From him asking me to coach him and work with him, it's taken me to have some unbelievable memories. It's changed my family's life, and I've had respect for a lot of you people in here that I never had before. So I've got a lot to thank Tony Bellew for. Every training session has been never something that it's work, it's a chore. Trust me, it's painful because I'm me, not very big, getting blasted on pads by him. It's hard work, but the banter, the personality, just everything about him is not just my fighter. He's not just a fighter that I work with. He's a friend, and I've got very few people in my life outside of my family that I can count on as friends. He's one of them, and he's the first person that I would always pick up the phone if I needed him. And it's been the best 5 years of my life, and I just want to say thank you.